Call to order, Town of Prescott Valley regular town council meeting, May 11th, 2023. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Leyva, not here. Councilmember Greer,
Here.
Councilmember Dickinson,
Here.
Councilmember Hepperly,
Here.
Councilmember Schumacher,
Present.
Vice Mayor Hunt,
Here.
Mayor Polguta.
Present.
We have a quorum.
And ma'am, just for information, Councilwoman Leyva is in Washington DC and her absence is approved. All right, well, moving on. Pastor Gabriel Gutierrez, is he here this evening? I don't know if I see him or not. For invocation. We're going to have to default to our backup plan. Please stand for our invocation.
Our Father in heaven, we thank thee for this beautiful day. We're grateful, Father, for the opportunity to meet together for the purpose of conducting business here in the town of Prescott Valley. So grateful for the citizens who are here today and the opportunity that we have to share with them the things that are happening in our community. We ask thee humbly that thy Spirit might be with us, that thou wouldst guide us and direct us in all that we say and do. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Now for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
Next up, item 3, proclamations. This is National Public Works Week.
National Public Works Week, May 21st to the 27th. Connecting the world through public works. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the town of Prescott Valley. Whereas these infrastructure, facilities, and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are engineers, managers, and employees at all levels of government and the private sector who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water treatment, and solid waste systems, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children in Prescott Valley to gain knowledge of and to maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2023 marks the 63rd annual National Public Works Week sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Therefore, be it resolved, I, Mayor Polguta, do hereby designate the week of May 21st to the 27th as National Public Works Week and urge all citizens to join with representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our national health, safety, and quality of life. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council members. I especially thank all of our hardworking Public Works employees. Day in and day out, they're here to serve the community, and they've done an amazing job.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council, thanks so much. I just want to thank Heather for being our champion and moving this forward. It's much appreciated. And I also want to thank our team. They're awesome. They work hard. They come to work with a positive attitude, and they're committed to success of the organization and the community. So it's much appreciated.
Oh, push over. Next up, Staff Service Award, James Edelstein, Police Commander, 25 years. Chief Ticer.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. Great to see you tonight. Tonight is a really awesome evening for our commander, and I will read some prepared remarks that I have for you tonight. Following 3.5 years of service with the Yavapai County Sheriff's Office, Commander James Edelstein was hired by the Prescott Valley Police Department on May 4th, 1998. Today is a day to honor James for his 1/4 century service to our town and community. During the last 25 years, James has served as a police officer, senior police officer, field support sergeant, criminal investigation sergeant, Northern Arizona Regional Training Academy class sergeant, lieutenant field services commander, intern police chief, deputy police chief, and his current assignment as commander of the Support Services Division. During this long career, James has been the recipient of the following: Mothers Against Drunk Driving Officer of the Year, Trauma Intervention Award, 11 commendations from the public, Chief's Commendation, and the Arizona Chiefs of Police Accredited Command Executive Certification. James has been the catalyst for many new technologies for our department, including the body-worn camera program and new crime analyst software systems that we have in place to assist in our intelligence-led policing initiatives. Additionally, James has been valuable in securing our first Arizona law enforcement accreditation for the department. You'll hear about that in just a minute. And our community is very proud of James, and we are grateful for his selfless service and sacrifices and wish him future success as he continues his excellent work with the Prescott Valley Police Department. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to recognize this fine man tonight. Thank you.
Mayor, Council, thank you very much for taking the time to recognize my service. But there's other people that frankly need to be thanked. So let me start with my wife, Sarah. Sarah, can you stand, please? Please. So there's something about cops and nurses, if you haven't noticed. I wasn't a cop when we got married. Sarah wasn't a nurse, and here we are. We celebrated our 30th anniversary in February. So she's been with me through every minute of this career, and I couldn't be where I am, and we wouldn't be where we are without you. Thank you. To the men and women that I serve with and serve, it's humbling and it's an honor to do so. Many of the things that the chief talked about me weren't because of me; they were because of the support and the teamwork and the camaraderie and the love that we have for each other. So, thanks to you all. And last of all, thanks to God for keeping me safe through all of it. So thank you. All right.
Great job, James. There you go. Next up, item 5, Prescott Valley Police Department State Accreditation. Chief, you're back up here. You're probably going to have to hold that up, that
Okay.
microphone.
Earlier today, if you take that block underneath that microphone, you see take that off, and that block can be moved, and just move it over for him down, it can be raised.
Very nice, thank you. Mr. Mayor, Madam Vice Mayor, members of the council, my name is Pete Wingert. I am the accreditation chair for the state of Arizona. I get the opportunity to oversee the accreditation program for the state of Arizona. I am excited to be here tonight. You know, it's great to recognize an agency doing things right. And tonight we have the opportunity to recognize Chief Ticer and the men and women of the Prescott Valley Police Department. I have some prepared remarks that I'll read, and then we can take some more pictures. In 2018, the Arizona Chiefs of Police created the Arizona Law Enforcement Accreditation Program. The ALEAP program is a partnership between the Arizona Chiefs of Police, the Arizona Municipal Risk Retention Pool, the League of Arizona Cities and Towns, and Arizona Post. The program is designed to identify a set of industry best practices for the safe, effective, efficient, and non-discriminatory delivery of professional police services. Having recently retired as the Chief of Police in Paradise Valley, I understand the importance of incorporating these standards into our policies and procedures and holding our staff accountable to the policies. We all expect and deserve this level of professionalism from our police departments. The Prescott Valley Police Department started the ALEAP accreditation process in 2021. Over the next 24 months, the agency staff, led by Lieutenant Nancy Roberts, worked diligently to ensure that they had policies and proof of compliance for all 174 standards of best practices. Lieutenant Roberts' steady leadership and the encouragement of Chief Ticer helped to make this day possible. The Prescott Valley Police Department saw several changes during its self-assessment period. Changes in leadership, policies, procedures did not slow Lieutenant Roberts down. Lieutenant Roberts put in the necessary work and effort to make sure all timelines were met and that the department would be successful. On March 22nd and March 23rd, the Prescott Valley Police Department participated in an on-site assessment by Arizona Law Enforcement Accreditation Program Director Kevin Ray and Lieutenant Michael Falquez of the Sahuarita Police Department. The assessment team spent hours over the preceding weeks to ensure a smooth on-site assessment by making sure that all the policies and proof of compliance were met. One of the most positive things from an administrative and risk management perspective was the agency's ability to update, modernize, and properly categorize its property and evidence room. The ALEAP program has extensive standards dealing with its property room as one of the highest levels of liability in law enforcement. Lieutenant Roberts identified gaps in this area and agency operations and took charge of that issue to make sure the property room met and exceeded ALEAP standards. The assessment team left impressed with the stability that Chief Ticer and his leadership team have brought to the police department. After a nearly annual turnover in leadership, Chief Ticer has brought a calm, assuring, and steadfast demeanor to the position, which trickles throughout the organization. The assessment team moved freely through the building, inspecting every facet and function of the agency, interviewing staff, key support personnel, necessary city personnel, and community members. Assessors inspected the agency and found the Prescott Valley Police Department to be in compliance with all the required standards. In April of 2023, Chief Ticer appeared before the ALEAP Commission, where they voted unanimously to recommend accreditation to the Prescott Valley Police Department for a term of 4 years, which brings us here tonight. In this era we are currently living through, with a perceived lack of trust between the public and the law enforcement agencies, it is very important to be an accredited agency. And I am very happy to offer tonight an accreditation certificate for the term of 4 years to Chief Ticer and the men and women of the Prescott Valley Police Department. Congratulations, Chief, for this significant professional accomplishment.
Thank you, Chief. It's a real honor to be here tonight, and we appreciate your kind words about Prescott Valley Finest. That's what we call our organization, Prescott Valley's Finest. It's an awesome group of people. You heard about Lieutenant Roberts, no doubt, awesome, along with all the great people in the organization that made this happen. And thank you to my boss, Mr. Davidson, for all your support, and as well as the mayor and council. And Mayor, we know you're a retired Prescott Valley police officer. We'd be honored if you'd come down here and get a picture with us with our team.
Oh, thank
Be
you, sir.
great. Yes. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, this side of the certificate needs to be held up.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Round of applause again. Next up, item 5B, Bradshaw Mountain High School Student of the Month. Councilwoman Hepperly will be taking it over from here.
All right, every month, the town of Prescott Valley, in collaboration with the Optimist Club of Yavapai County and Bradshaw Mountain High School, recognize two outstanding students from Bradshaw Mountain High School. And honestly, I don't know how you make the choice every month, because it's been a full year of school. This is our last one before summer break, and every month you just outdo yourself. So this month we are recognizing Michaela Rivera and Ryan Chase. We're recognizing these students because of their school and community engagement. They've been nominated by school staff and instructors at Bradshaw Mountain High School. Congratulations to both of you. And they have each prepared their own list of accolades. So Michaela, why don't you come up and start? You can face that.
Hi, my name is Michaela Rivera. I'm a senior at Bradshaw Mountain High School. I love being involved at the school, so I'm in 5 different clubs. These clubs include Link, Mu Alpha Theta, FBLA, Youth Alive, and a club I created last year called Songwriting Lab. I feel it's important to play an active role in making my school better. One of my favorite things to do for the school is to sing the national anthem at the home games. I'm proud to say that even with these extracurriculars, I have maintained a 4.2 GPA for my entire high school career, regardless of my hour-and-a-half drive to and from school every day. Outside of school, I perform locally in a band I have with my sisters called the Rivera Girls. Furthermore, I sing on the worship team at Starting Point Church, and I'm a part of Yavapai College Chamber Singers. As my parents say, being involved keeps me out of trouble, so I'm involved in everything I want to be, and I'm blessed to have extremely supportive parents. After graduation, I will be attending Belmont University in Nashville, Tennessee, and I will pursue a Bachelor of Arts degree in songwriting with a minor in music business. Finally, I have a song I wrote out on all music platforms called Arizona Rain featuring Jackson Doll, so check that out. With that being said, thank you for your time and this opportunity.
And Ryan, come on up.
Hello, I am Ryan Chase, and I'm a senior at Bradshaw Mountain High School. I'm very honored that I was chosen for Student of the Month. With that, let me tell you a little bit about myself. When it comes to school, I've consistently gotten honor roll all 4 years of high school and have a GPA of 3.5. When it comes to sports, I have played for the Bradshaw Mountain varsity soccer team for the last 4 years, 3 of which I was the team captain. I've been awarded second team all-region for the 2020-2021 season, Defender of the Year for the 2021-22 season, and on top of that, I was awarded honorable mention for the state that year also. This previous season was the best season I have ever had. After our team went undefeated in the regular season, I was awarded with first team all-region defender. And then I received the biggest award I've ever gotten. I was awarded first team all-state as a defender out of all the schools in Arizona's 4A conference. Outside of sports, I also volunteer for the Bradshaw Mountain Marching Band and was a part of the pit crew. Pit crew is a group of volunteers who help the band push all the instruments and other equipment to the field and set it up for them to perform. I've been doing that for the past 2 years. After high school is over, I am planning on staying in Prescott Valley and attending Yavapai College to get a bachelor's degree in business. After I complete that, I'd like to attend GCU or NEU to get my teaching certificate and become a high school history teacher here in our community. During my time at Yavapai College, I plan on continuing volunteering for the Bradshaw Mountain Marching Band, help coach the high school soccer team, and continue working at TJ Maxx. I am very proud being a part of Bradshaw Mountain High School and can't thank my teachers, parents, or coaches enough for the opportunities they have provided me and the things they have taught me. Thank you all for your time.
All right, and I don't know if this is the last time that I can call you this, but Principal Doll, come on over.
Thank you, Mayor, council members. Thank you, Councilwoman Hepperly. Thank you for the Optimist Club. This is one of those, this is my favorite night every month. And I always say the same things, except I'm going to try not to. We have amazing, amazing kids. We really do. I hear a lot of kids these days, and then you hear the type of kids that we have, and they are absolutely amazing. And we need to continue to remember that and celebrate them often. What I love about these two is they make our community better. They make Arizona better. They make Prescott Valley better. They make Bradshaw Mountain High School better. They are kind. They are thoughtful. They are absolutely, absolutely amazing people. Sure, they are wicked talented, but it's their kindness and leadership that really do set them apart. Both set an amazing example, not only for the kids on our campus, they set an amazing example for us as adults. I swear that we learn as much from these guys as they do from our campus. We are so grateful for you guys. Congratulations, it's so very well deserved. And I brought a special someone to accompany them as well. His name is Mr. Bradshaw, and it gives me really, really, really great honor and pleasure to announce him as actually the next principal at Bradshaw Mountain High School.
Well, I did not expect that, but thank you, Mr. Dahl. And again, we do have amazing kids, and we're very excited for these two. And I'm glad Ryan's going to be sticking around because he'll make our community better every day. So thank you.
He's so excited. From the Optimist Club of Yavapai County, Mike Whiting.
Well, I think I share in the enthusiasm of all the people up here in front recognizing our Students of the Month. And it's something I too look forward to every month, now the second Thursday of the month. And this will be our last recognition until I think August or September. And we're looking forward to hopefully seeing Principal Bradshaw here as well to recognize and keep that tradition going in terms of meeting all the excellent students that graduate from Bradshaw Mountain High School and indeed make our world better as a result. So I think both Michaela and Ryan know why we're here. This is your day or your evening, however you want to perceive it. And we want to recognize you for, your achievements and accomplishments you've had throughout not only this year, but through your academics at Bradshaw Mountain High School. And as we know, you're very involved with the school as well as your personal goals, which you strive for excellence. I know that comes from Bradshaw Mountain High School and the exposure you have to staff and teachers. So we hope you can carry on that tradition, and we'll look forward to seeing Ryan here in Prescott Valley, and hopefully Michaela too sometime when she returns. And it'll be a great joy to see them and hopefully have some impact on our community as well as Bradshaw Mountain High School. So without further ado, it's with sincere pleasure that I, Mike Whiting, with the Optimist Club of Yavapai County, the town of Prescott Valley, and Bradshaw Mountain High School, that we congratulate you for being Students of the Month for May 2023. Congratulations. And I'll ask our councilwoman to award the certificates. And it's just one way for us to say thank you, and then hopefully you can put that in a frame and put it wherever you feel is going to be most appropriate. And we do have little plaques here too that from the Optimist Club of Yavapai County, and it talks about the Optimist Creed, and there's about 10 different things. If you follow this, I think you'll have a marvelous future ahead of you. And when you have a chance, please read this. We've talked about maybe beginning in August or September, whenever that might be, that we'll read the Optimist Creed so everybody knows what that is about and give you a better perspective as far as what the optimists are about. But again, congratulations. And I'd like to ask the parents and relatives of the two students who we're recognizing tonight to please stand, just to say thank you. Because without them, of course, you wouldn't be here tonight. So thank you, parents, as well. Congratulations. Thank you, Council and Mayor.
Thank you. Hey, Michaela, real quick, where do we hear your song at?
My song?
Yeah, you said
It's
something.
like on
about-
all music platforms, so like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube.
All right, I'm
Yeah.
gonna look for it.
It's Arizona Rain.
Arizona Rain, got it.
Yeah.
All right, item 5C will be pulled from this evening, and it's moved to May 25th. Item 6, call to the public. At this time, members of the public may comment on matters listed on the agenda or solely on matters within the jurisdiction of the town. Any persons wishing to address the council must register their name with the town clerk prior to the commencement of the meeting. The council's response is limited to responding to criticism, asking staff to review a matter commented upon, or asking that a matter be put on a future agenda. Such remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes unless additional time is granted by the mayor. Clerk?
At this time, I would like to call Jacqueline Desau.
Welcome, ma'am. You can use this one right here, ma'am.
My name is Jacqueline Dessau at 7285 North Sunrise Vista. We would like to respond to the Attainable Housing Report 2023 presented at the Planning and Zoning Commission study session, May 8th, 2023. First, we'd like to thank the mayor for setting up the task force and requesting this report. It all began with a letter from the mayor addressed to the Housing Supply Study Committee dated October the 3rd, 2022. Page 7 of the report, everyone. Thanking the Housing Supply Study Committee, who had just hosted a convention, the same letter that mentions that the Attainable Housing Task Force has just been set up. The first 5 paragraphs of this letter talk about housing, currently too costly for the average PV family to afford. These are individuals who teach our kids, our first responders, work in trades, as well as overall general labor jobs. The biggest issue currently is the high cost to construct a traditional stick-built home. Families wanting to start a family and get a larger home aren't able to, in today's market of high home prices, high interest rates, and the inability to compete with out-of-state home buyers. These are things we can all agree about. And finally, the multifamily market in PV is starting to increase with 2,000 units. But a problem is that many of these projects are luxury apartments starting in the low to mid 200,000s for a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Clerk?
Nancy Scharf.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. I'm Nancy Scharf, 7133 East Grassland Court. Don't break the place. Okay. So the letter from the mayor seems spot on. These are concerns for many of us. But then if things take a turn, suddenly the letter is stating that more cooperation is needed, much like what we, PV, do locally in our fast tracking of permits. We have hired a consultant to revamp our town code with one of the focuses being more innovative approaches to encourage development. And we're setting up a culture supporting private sector affordable housing and engaging with developers to encourage their investment and partnership on projects. Then the letter cites an example, the one-bedroom casitas apartments that the public rallied against earlier this week during the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. We do want to thank the commission for delaying their decision due to the concerns that were raised by the public. But back to the Attainable Housing Report 2023. First, this report should be renamed Market Rate Housing Report 2023. On page 15, the task force states the definition of affordable housing, both owned and rental, refers specifically to market housing. This is through a technicality when a small capture area is selected as the basis of establishing median income rather than the community as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Clerk?
Patricia Betzel.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. This is Patricia Betzel, North 3833 Fairfax Road, Prescott Valley. So unfortunately, the report, although I don't think it was the intent of the mayor, is premised not on providing a path to affordable housing, but, and I quote from the report, helps instead to create luxury housing units by obtaining funding from a new source. The SWOT analysis on page 16 states that Prescott Valley should be including zoning for density bonuses and overlay, should be including incentives to attract more developers, including land, a housing trust fund, making lots and floodplains shovel-ready, and adding a new partner within our government here, the housing facilitator with staff dedicated to assisting the developers that are attracted to our town and our resources. But they're honest in the report. They also admit on page 16 that they're missing the demographic information needed to determine the housing needs in Prescott Valley, that they're lacking partnerships with existing nonprofit organizations who currently provide attainable housing, and that they still need to confirm the terminology and number of Section 8 units in PV. In other words, they don't really know yet how big the problem is. There is information contained within the report, but it is conflicting, and how the leap to market housing as a solution is made is not clear. Quite frankly, there is a concern about a potential conflict of interest with some of the individuals on the task force, and we are very concerned about pushing the town to implement the recommendations immediately. I agree with the introduction to this report. The town of Prescott Valley is on its way to becoming a community in which young professionals, wage earners, families, persons on fixed or lower than average incomes, and others will not be able to find a home. But this task force is not really focused on solving that problem. Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Town Council, Town Manager, there is some value in this report. It is our hope that all of you, working together as our trusted representatives, can separate that value from the recommendations in the study, determine what the actual need is, partner with nonprofits, finish the homework, and then marry the results of your work to our shared values and our shared vision for the future of Prescott Valley in order to create an action plan that actually leads to authentic, affordable housing for those that need it while maintaining our quality of life. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Clerk?
Karen Hunt.
Welcome, ma'am.
My name is Karen Hunt. I live at 4750 North Columbine Drive, Prescott Valley, Arizona. First of all, I want to thank our police and our military veterans for their services, because I have them in both, police and military. Military retired, police retired. My concern is when I found out that there was a Mexican consulate that went to St. Germain's and to tell the illegals what their rights are. Then I found out, see, how many of you lived in, where there's gangs in Mexico, in California, communities? How many, raise your hand. Okay. I lived in Wilmington, California, part of Los Angeles. I joined the Wilmington Homeowners Association. Then we found out that there were gangs that, matter of fact, my youngest son, when they were going to do a drive-by shooting at Wilmington Junior High School in 1992, they were going to do a drive-by shooting when he was out in the exercise yard. Well, they found out that they were discovered, they drove by, and the police were parked 2 blocks down the road. Then another gang member was going to beat my son, excuse my language, ass, because he did all his homework, classwork, you name it, and he got a reward for doing all his work to watch a movie. And this gang member said, why do you get to go and we don't? Well, they didn't do the work. And so he said, we're going to beat your ass when you get out of school. And he had to wait over an hour till they finally got tired. And then that's the first time he came home and told me. I said, what do you want me to do? Can you talk tomorrow to the, whoever watches, council, whatever. And I told him what happened. I said, keep a distance, keep an eye on him. Then I lived on Lagoon Avenue and on the west side of Wilmington. There was east side, west side, Weemos. And they had gang members on both sides. And my neighbors and I got sick and tired of them coming to our block, having to fight instead of going to their house, their street to fight. And so the situation arose, and they threw a bottle at her. So we called the police, and the police officers told me, why don't you get involved in your community? Well, I was. So I went to the meeting at a certain date at the Catholic elementary school. So I purposely sat behind those 2 police officers to let them know I was involved. We formed a gang task force. And at nighttime, the mothers, they don't give a darn if their 5-year-old is at 10 o'clock at night. Then,
I have to start wrapping it up.
Okay, I'll wrap it up. And then my friend, her brother's police officer, dressed up like a sholo at Banning Park. And we had to do whatever we had to do to clean it up and get off the graffiti. Wait till they mark your house, your block, your street, and can take it as their property.
Thank you, ma'am.
And the police need to get involved.
Clerk?
Reina Galindo?
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. It's really, it's Reina, AKA Yas Galindo. Okay? I'm Mexican-American and American Indian, 45%. American Indian. Anyway, I'm concerned because I heard somebody, maybe secondhand information, that there was this person, the school, Bradshaw. I'm new to Dewey. I'm from the communist state of California. And Section 8 is going to do, unless you want some projects here, maybe you'll get more gangs. But I heard that there are gangs here, 51 gang members that are in the junior high or maybe the high school. I don't know whether this is correct, but this is hearsay. But I know that there is a big community of illegals that have been bussed here. Government vans, and we've seen them. We followed one. And they've been coming since last summer. And so we see them, I see them all over the place, and we're all paying for them. They've never been examined for any diseases. They never went through a background investigation to see whether or not they're serial killers, sex trafficking children, or whatever. But they're here. I don't know why they're here, Mayor. You're the mayor. Why are these people here? I didn't come here to be by people like that. And yes, like her, my community was a nice community, a beautiful community. By the time my kids were adults, gangs, Hispanic gangs primarily. I didn't want to live there, and I don't want my kids to live there either. And I definitely don't want Section 8 or affordable housing to, unless they're screened and everything and they're kids, and I don't think that's something that you're going to do. I don't want that. I didn't move here for that. That's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Clerk?
No one else, Mayor.
Thank you. Moving on, item 7, council communications. We'll start on the end with you, Councilwoman.
Well, I first want to congratulate Chief Tyser and our police department. Well done. Then I want to invite everyone to bring their families and enjoy the next 3 days of Prescott Valley Days and up through the 14th.
Councilman Dickinson?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I pretty much have the same information and ditto what Councilwoman Greer said. We have a lot of wonderful activities coming up and a parade on Saturday morning. And this evening, a talent show over at the Children's Theater next door to the Event Center. And so come on out this weekend and enjoy being a part of your community. Thank you.
Councilwoman?
I just want to say thank you to everybody who was involved with the Team Up to Clean Up on this last weekend. And it was amazing how big the landfill amount was. So when you see those piles, it's pretty awe-striking. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who participated.
Vice Mayor? Councilwoman? Mr. Davidson, manager's report.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, the only thing I have is our monthly report, which is a summation of activities for the prior month, will be available to you and the public on our website tomorrow mid-morning. Thank you.
On our new website?
On our new town website, yes. So if our public has not seen it, we've revamped our town website, reorganized it, have streamlined it, and have provided updated information on most of the pages. So very exciting.
Moving on, item 9, consent agenda. All matters listed under consent agenda are considered routine by the town council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and be considered separately. Council, we've all had a chance to review consent agenda. Now is your opportunity to remove an item. If we were not removing an item, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve all items listed under the consent agenda by electronic vote.
Have a second?
I second it.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 10, new business. 10A, Wolfstock Dog Adoption Agreement. Consideration and possible action. Ms. Doms-Foster, I believe you are taking it from here.
I am. Excuse me. Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Town Council. The annual Wolfstock Dog Adoption event has taken place at the Prescott Valley Civic Center each June for the past 10 years. Area rescues, along with veterinarians, pet businesses, trainers, and more, join in on this dog adoption and animal information event. And in the past 10 years, more than 900 dogs have found forever homes through this event. And a lot of connections have also been made that I'm sure people have gone and adopted afterwards. It's kind of dangerous for pet lovers to go there. You might go home with a new pet. This year, the town proposes to host the event in partnership with Prescott Dog Magazine, Sherry Dreves, who for the past 10 years has organized and conducted this event. And so this year, the partnership would enable a Prescott Valley Police Animal Services presence for education on town regulations regarding nuisance barking, leash laws, sanitation, licensing, vaccinations, and more. The event will also be an opportunity to provide information on the care of chickens and rabbits under the new town regulations. Another benefit of the town hosting to both parties is that this will allow continued use of Civic Center restrooms for the event, town disposal of a limited amount of trash from the event, and a police presence. All other costs of the event and organization are borne by Prescott Dog. This year, just in an effort to have a greater outreach to the public and education and our animal control and all the great work that they do, that's why we want to have, they'll be there with a booth, and they've really gotten behind this event and gone out, and we have community members that have partnered with us, and our whole booth over there is going to have a lot of great raffles and giveaways, and we'll have a lot of information to give out to the public, and people can find out they can find answers to their problems with pets, if you have a neighbor with a barking dog, any of that kind of thing. But it's just a way to outreach to the public and to educate on responsible pet ownership. So the staff would be really appreciative if you would recommend approval for this agreement to host this joint event with Prescott Dog. And town costs are minimal while providing a great public benefit from the PV animal control presence. And we hope to expand this presence in the future.
Great. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Council, have you anything? Great opportunity to have exposure at this event, so
Thank you.
we appreciate your time. I'll entertain a motion. Councilwoman?
Mr. Mayor, Council, I motion to approve an agreement with Red Dog Publishing LLC for hosting a joint dog adoption event at the Civic Center by electronic vote.
Have a second?
A second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
It passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up, item 10B, zoning ordinance amendment, ZOA 23-002, modifies square footage and hours of operation of marijuana establishments. Mr. Ruby, welcome.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council, on February 10th, 2011, the Town Council adopted ordinance number 753 in response to the Arizona Medical Marijuana Act to establish certain performance standards for medical marijuana dispensaries. On February 11th, 2021, the council adopted ordinance 853 in response to the Smart and Safe Arizona Act to establish certain performance standards for marijuana establishments. Town code currently limits the hours of operation for medical marijuana dispensaries and marijuana establishments from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Town code also currently limits square footage of medical marijuana dispensaries and marijuana establishments. It's been noted that other communities surrounding Prescott Valley have also adopted such performance standards that either do not have the same restrictions or have different requirements. Therefore, it's been proposed that the town code be amended to make these restrictions and requirements more consistent with neighboring communities. Thus, the hours of operation would now be from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., and the square footage limitations would be removed. At its regular meeting on May the 8th, the Planning and Zoning Commission held a public hearing on the necessary amendments to the town code to accomplish these changes, then voted to recommend adoption to the council. It is now proposed that the town council hold its own public hearing on the proposal, then consider whether to adopt ordinance number 2023-922 to make those amendments. After the public hearing, if the council desires to consider adopting the proposed zoning code amendments, number one, it would vote to authorize the mayor to sign resolution number 2023-2311, declaring the document amendments to Town Code Chapter 13, medical marijuana dispensaries and marijuana establishments to be public record. And then two, vote to read ordinance number 2023-922, adopted by reference, the public record by title only on two separate occasions, then place the same on final passage. I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have them.
Thank you, sir. And as you mentioned, this is a public hearing, which I am opening up right now. And let's see if there's anyone in the audience that wishes to speak on this topic. Doesn't appear as if there is anyone. Council, have you any comments from Mr. Ruby? I believe this is just something that is a long time coming. It's a legitimate business, and there's no need to restrict it in regards to square footage or hours.
Yes.
Anything else for Mr. Ruby? I'm closing the public hearing. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign resolution number 2023-2311, declaring the document amendments to Town Code, Chapter 13 medical marijuana dispensaries, marijuana establishment to be a public record by electronic vote.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
Mayor Plaguda?
It's green on my end.
That passes unanimously.
Thank you, ma'am. Next
I need another motion, sorry.
motion, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to motion to read ordinance number 2023-922, adopting by reference the public record by title only on 2 separate occasions and place the same on final passage by electronic vote.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ordinance number 2023-922. An ordinance of the mayor and common council of the town of Prescott Valley, a municipal corporation of Arizona, adopting by reference that certain document amendments to the town code, chapter 13, medical marijuana dispensaries, marijuana establishments, declared by resolution number 2023-2311 to be a public record. Amending Chapter 13 zoning to eliminate maximum square footage requirements and expand operating hours for both medical marijuana dispensaries and marijuana establishments. Providing that all other chapters, articles, and sections of the town code not herein repealed or amended shall remain in full force and effect. Providing that if any provision in this ordinance is held invalid by a court of competent jurisdiction, the remaining provision shall not be affected but shall continue in full force and effect. And providing that this ordinance shall be effective 30 days after its passage and approval according to law.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 10C, FDP 23-004, Home to Suites, Pavway. Ms. Jessica, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and fellow council members. Before you this evening is an application request from Tejas Desai, the agent for the property owner, for your consideration of a final development plan to locate a 4-story hotel, Home 2 Suites by Hilton, on a site currently zoned C2 pad, commercial general sales, planned area development. The proposed site is generally located in the southern border of the Pruitt's Furniture Store parking lot along Frontage Road within the Town and Country Shopping Center that you see here on your screen. It is between an existing Wells Fargo Bank and the Safeway Shopping Center to the east. As you can see from the blinking circle, oops, come back, sorry. As you can see by the circle in the vicinity map shown here on your screen, the site is north of State Route 69 and east of Lake Valley Road. The area was annexed by the town in December of 1980, and in 1986, approximately 38 acres including the subject site, were rezoned from RCU to C2 pad, which has made way for various commercial business developments in that area. The area is intended to give great latitude to larger retail businesses, which require significantly larger land area for bigger building footprints and parking lots. The subject site is an excellent regional access and visibility, as such, appropriate for this location. And you can see it here on your blinking screen. The boundaries of the project are identified in the record of survey shown here, showing you approximately 3 acres that would be carved out of the existing 10-acre site of the parking lot currently serving the Pruitt's Furniture Store. The primary entrance would be via the shared access roadway from frontage, and additional access is provided via the internal circulation of the Safeway Shopping Center. This plan meets the required parking showing a total of what is now revised to 119 spaces, with 5 of them being accessible ADA compliant. And the owner of the property agrees to allow the remainder of the Pruitt's parking stalls to be available for the use in the unlikely event that the overflow should be needed. A traffic statement was prepared for this project, and it does indicate that an additional 376 daily trips would be generated by this use, with an additional 23 PM peak hour trips in and 220 PM peak hour trips out. The applicant is working in collaboration with ADOT to satisfy any traffic concerns, and with an approved TIA to be required prior to the building permit issuance. In response to staff comments, the applicant did submit some revisions. They don't have any significant changes from what you have in your packet, but you will see here the latest plan that was provided. The landscaping plan demonstrates the removal of trees and the protection of some existing trees, as well as added water drought-tolerant vegetation surrounding the property and high-efficiency irrigation fixtures. And you can see I tried to highlight the areas that are being landscaped. The plan was not in color initially, so you probably didn't see that in your packet. The applicant is requesting to deviate from the maximum 35 height requirement in order to build up to 4 stories with a maximum height of 57 feet. This request is in congruence with the PAD district. This item is also being required to have a 2% surcharge on all unit rentals, and this surcharge would produce the ongoing TPT tax revenues. Staff does recommend approval of this final development plan, and it is subject to this development stipulations, standard development stipulations that were stated in your packet. The applicant is here. The remaining slides are to show the elevations. So that would be facing Frontage Road. This would be on the side where, on the east side where Subway is. The north elevation shows the rear of the building. This is what you would be seeing if you were looking south from Pruitt's parking lot. This is the west elevation that you would see if you were looking east from the Wells Fargo Bank. And if you have any questions, the applicant is here as well.
Sir, I just want to welcome you here.
Thank you.
Miss Jessica, you had me at hotel. This is something that we
sure.
needed. And I appreciate you, sir, for being here. The design looks great. I'll let the vice mayor speak about the landscaping. And go ahead, ma'am.
Thank you so much for picking Prescott Valley. We're thrilled that you're coming. We need this so badly. We are home to a bunch of tournaments during the summertime. We have the Wheelhouse that has a lot of travel ball coming in, and we will fill it up for you. I think it's the best location in town because there's a lot of walkability to restaurants all around, to the theater and everything else around, a lot of entertainment. And I just want to say welcome to town. We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Hoping you will join the chamber.
Yes, we will.
Okay, great. Thank you
Yes,
very
we
much.
intend.
Thanks for picking Prescott Valley.
So thank you. We feel very welcome and appreciate your support with this project.
Councilwoman?
I just have one question. So the parking lot is being referred to as Pruitt Overflow Parking Lot, but for anyone who banks at Wells Fargo, that is Wells Fargo Overflow Parking Lot. Is that going to be a private, is it private parking over there? Or if people are trying to go to the bank, are they going to be able to use that parking lot or?
Yeah, they should be able to because normally the guests who will be staying at the hotel, they come in normally in the evening hours and leave in the morning hours. So during the daytime, it'll be empty, so they should be able to use it. Plus the currently REAs that are in place allows for the cross parking between all the users.
So it's not going to be one of those where you have to, like if you're staying at the hotel, you get a thing to put on your dashboard saying that you can park there?
It
Okay.
won't be like that, no.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
And sir, one last question. I might have missed it in my packet. How many rooms are you expecting to have?
It'll be 112 rooms.
112, I'm sorry, I missed that. Councilwoman? Anything?
Could you put the picture up of the, where the hotel was sharing the parking lot? And, yeah, let's see, I think that one more, yeah, there. So in the packet that we received, it talked about how you're going to be using the circulation from the Safeway area as far as an entry into the hotel. So, but I can see that on the frontage road, there, the entry to the hotel is, that will be from the frontage road, from Pav Way, right?
Yes.
Yes, okay, so this road, it looks to me like, I know that we have several small businesses here, and this road that is actually on the back side of the parking area for Goodwill, it looks like the building has blocked off part of that road. Pardon? I know, but when you drive into the parking lot from the back side to go into the not the store, but the parking area for the Goodwill. Do you see what I'm talking about? There are two entries there, and I know that I've been over there where you know, that road is not really part of the Safeway necessarily, but it's part of, so what you're saying is that when we come in, when a person comes in off of Highway 69 and you hit the road that goes into the Safeway, then you make a left-hand turn onto Pav Way is what you're saying, and then drive to the front of the hotel. Am I correct in saying that?
I can help explain to you.
Okay,
Maybe we
thank
get
you.
The next slide, it shows the site plan, might help me see a little, there we go.
Okay,
So yeah, so the road you're referring to back to the Goodwill is behind the hotel, what I'm calling kind of plan
Not even
north.
on this map.
Is that the one you're referring to? Kind of behind by the pool?
yes, so this, yeah, this little road here that you would drive, I know,
Councilman, he can't see your,
yeah, it's
monitor.
part of the, pardon?
he can't see what you're pointing at, so.
Yeah, well, where you're saying that you can use part of the Pruitt parking lot.
Yeah, so
There's
if-
an access road right there. I know I've driven it
Yeah,
to,
if
you
I'm
know,
coming in off the
go,
frontage road, I'm coming in, I turn right into the shared drive and I go up past the hotel and turn right and go behind the pool. Is that the road you're talking about? That will continue to be able to go straight over towards Goodwill. We're not blocking that.
you're not, okay.
No, yeah, it comes, we're keeping that drive aisle open.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Okay. Thank you. I just was visualizing, trying to see it. So thank you.
Because the Safeway is still over further, you know, it's not right there. And when they said they were going to be using the Safeway entry to have access to the road, then you would have off of Highway 69, turn left or right into that road that goes, or that little parking area.
Safeway's for,
Frontage
on
road,
this plan is
that, you know, that goes into the Safeway. And then what you're saying is make a left-hand turn onto Pav Way?
Yeah, we're not blocking any existing aisleways that connect to the inner parcels at all. Those are all staying as they are. We're using the shared drive between us and the bank. And as you come up towards the old Safeway building, if you turn right to go towards Goodwill, that drive aisle behind our pool is staying open. So that's not impeded at all.
Okay, all right.
I hope that answers your question.
If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion. Councilman?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign resolution number 2023-2315, approving final development plan FDP 23-004 for the Home to Suites Hotel by electronic vote.
Have a second?
I second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Moving on, item 10D, new human resource policy manual. Trayan, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, members of the council. I'm returning to you this evening for your consideration regarding the human resources policy, individual policies and manual in totality. If you recall, when we had an opportunity during the study session, I framed the policy work, not only the efforts of literally dozens of people, our employee workforce, our legal team, our executive team, et cetera, external legal counsel, but really everyone that's touched by this. And remember that policies are the way that we live into the values we have in the organization. In turn, every decision we make, we want to be service-oriented, we want to be respectful, we want to demonstrate integrity and civility in all that we do. We have a number of sections in the policies, the 150 pages plus, and the one section that I did bring to your attention is in Area 5 of the policies. We looked at the use of the Personnel Board that has graciously, willingly wanted to contribute time. And what we saw was the seating of the board and involvement had not happened since 2020. And prior to that, the involvement of the board and the commitment of community members, it really was 2011, 2012 when that was needed. And so we looked at all the narrative and we said, how do we, again, go to the next level as we build the future for the community? The great news is we are working actively to use interest-based problem solving. We are talking with each other on all levels at the lowest level for resolution. And effectively, and the community demonstrates this far earlier than my arrival, the idea that we are not using the grievance language and have not for a long period of time. So what we've done in that new language, if you did have a chance to review that particular section, we have concluded the work of the Personnel Board in a formal manner, but the great news is we're looking at how community members can be involved going forward with the idea of recognizing high-performing employees. And we're just in the design phase of that. That will be an action piece, not captured in the policy agreement, but rather designing what it means to recognize the accomplishments of extraordinary employees. Right now, we're referring to that as the High Performer Award recognition. And so we would then first reach out to those that have been willing to serve on a personnel board, other future community members, and ask if they will be the external partners joining with us in a recognition format. So we're in the design phase of that, and we're hoping that that is both interesting to community members, but also an opportunity for the recognition for the extraordinary work. And because we have so many different departments and divisions, the unique contribution could be anything from innovation, it could be customer service enhancement, it could be artificial intelligence and virtual use of all of the innovation in that area to move our community strategically forward. And so that's what we're hoping, the transition for those that have been willing to serve in a grievance or conflict circumstance. Instead, they will be invited then if they would like to serve on the award side of the work that we do. Now, again, any questions that you might have prior to consideration for this, I'm happy to answer.
Council, we have any additional questions? I know we covered this a little bit ago as well, so.
Thank you again for the opportunity to do this project on behalf of the community. Thank you.
Great job, thank you. Can I have a motion, please? Councilwoman?
I make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign resolution number 2023-2316, adopting the new town human resources policy manual.
I'll second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
It passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Next up, item 10E, Safe Streets for All Grant. Consideration and possible action. Mr. Judy, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I've been before you many times over the years to talk about CDBG grants, which we've used mostly to build sidewalks and to do some improvements to the Boys and Girls Club. This is a new one for us. Last year, we became aware of a grant program called the Safe Streets for All. This program was created by the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. It is a 5-year program, and each year they are allocating $1 billion towards this program. There are 2 types of grants you can apply for. There are planning grants and there are implementation grants. To apply for the implementation grants, which is the actual construction of things like bike lanes, sidewalks, crosswalks, those kinds of things, you have to have an action plan in hand. So last year we applied for an action grant. Melody, who's in the audience, helped us write that application. And we were pleased to find out that earlier this year, we were awarded $544,896 for this grant. There is a 20% match that goes along with that. We have budgeted for that in our next fiscal year. If we were to move, speedily this fiscal year, we have some money we can move around to do that. The town match is $136,224. We are excited to get underway. We got in on the ground on this one. We were in year one funding. My hope and desire would be that we could finish this plan within a year and then apply for year three funding for some actual projects to possibly add bike lanes, sidewalks, crosswalks, things that really will make our community safer. The intent is to reduce accidents between cars and bikes, cars and pedestrians, to make our streets safer. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Council, we have any comments for Mr. Judy other than it's pretty much a no-brainer? We get quite the investment for our money and it's duly needed. Councilwoman.
I just wanted to point out that it comes as no surprise to me that when Melody writes a grant application, we usually get it. Thank you, Melody.
That being said, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept $544,896 in federal Safe Streets for All grant funding and authorize the necessary town match of $136,224 for a total project of $681,120.
Have a second.
I second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we move on to 10F, sir, I need to apologize to you. I got confused in regards to what you needed. But Mr. Judy will be able to answer the question that you had for me earlier, so I don't want you to feel like you were slighted, but I'm glad you stuck around. So don't yell at me. All right, moving on to item 10F, Glassford Hill Project. Consideration and possible action. Mr. Miramontes.
Mayor, Council, thank you for the opportunity to present this important project, the Glassford Hill Road Enhancement Project, a project that really touches and reaches everyone in our community. As we're all aware, Glassford Hill Road is the lifeline, if you will, to our town, providing commercial opportunity, recreation, and right now that roadway is in need of an overhaul. The project will remove approximately 2 feet of existing roadway material so that we can build that back up with a proper foundation and a proper asphalt section. We are aware that this project will have a huge impact on the businesses in the area. We've already started our business outreach and gotten some positive feedback and heard our community's concern, our business owners' concerns. And we're working to get those addressed. This will be a phased approach in that we're not going to shut down Glassford Hill Road. It's my job, my duty to make sure that, the vehicles, the people can get through that zone and get to where they're going. With that said, we're anticipating starting in the northbound direction, north of Florentine, and heading north, and then working our way down in the southbound direction, ultimately turning again to complete the final stretch from Highway 69 to Florentine Road. On April 24th, the town received 2 bids, with the lowest responsible bid belonging to Asphalt Paving and Supply. If approved, this would award a construction contract to them in the amount of $8,122,189. This action would also award construction administrative services to Dave and Associates for construction oversight. Up on your screen currently is just a small list of our project partners. I really want to draw attention to the efforts that these folks will put into in this project, because it's not something that one group, one person, one department can handle. It's a collaborative effort. It is a huge undertaking that I'm proud to hopefully, should you award it, have the responsibility to oversee this important project. If I could just finish off, we have set up a project hotline. Should our businesses need to reach out to us, should our residents need to reach out to us, we have you in mind. We have an open ear, and we will respond. Are there any questions?
We have questions for Mr. Miramontes, Vice Mayor?
I do, and it's more of a compliment. And I'm putting the hotline in my phone, thank you. I want to compliment you on the presentation that you gave to the chamber the other morning. Your demeanor was great, your presentation was great, your calmness was great. You were almost an economic developer that day, and I was really proud of you, so thank you for that. And here again today, you were really great. And I'm very excited that you're going to be the face of this project to our businesses. And I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Council, anything else? If not,
I
we'll
have
take a motion.
just one question. So this is going to go from Highway 69.
I'm sorry, from Highway 69 to Panther Path.
Panther Path.
Yes.
So when you're in the process of doing all of the paving, that section right there from Highway 69 to Pab Way, there's so much congestion there, especially when you have the 2 lanes turning at 5, 6 o'clock at night.
Correct.
And I'm just curious, how is that going to be, how are they going to direct traffic there?
We're currently working with ADOT to develop a plan to restrict traffic into 1 left turn lane. We understand it's 2 lanes through that stretch. We will keep 1 lane open. As part of this project, we fully anticipate some nighttime work. That stretch is dedicated to happen at night. So that should alleviate some of the concerns. The hours we expect for just that stretch would probably be a setup time of 8 p.m. with a breakdown time of 6 a.m. Without the volumes, I think we can manage that area more effectively and get the traveling public through and get the work done.
Also, there's that 3rd lane right there just after Pab Lane or Pab Road there. And I'm curious, are you going to keep that 3rd lane, or how is that going to work there? It goes like from 2 lanes to 3 lanes, and it's kind of a squirrely little thing there.
Right. We're not taking out any lanes as far as reducing the roadway width. In that zone, we'll get through the 2-lane section. As we move north, we will create a work zone in possibly a lane or a lane and a half, complete that work, and then switch traffic to what we just completed, and then work in the area that needs to be completed.
Thank you.
Can I have a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to award the bid to and enter into a contract with Asphalt Paving and Supply Incorporated for construction of the Glassford Hill Road Improvement Project in the amount of $8,122,189, and approve an amendment to the town engineer agreement with Dava and Associates for the construction administration services in the amount of $370,000 by electronic vote.
Have a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Item 10G, Nature Conservancy Grant Agreement with Upper Verde River Watershed Protection Coalition. Consideration and possible action. Ms. Lund, welcome.
Thank you very much, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. This is the first of two items that we have for you tonight. I'm here on behalf of the Upper Verde River Watershed Protection Coalition. I am the TAC chair. And just as a reminder to you, I'm sure you all remember, but the town of Prescott Valley is the fiscal agent for the coalition. So that is why I'm here for you to talk to you this evening. We have this first item is a really exciting grant that we were able to secure from the Nature Conservancy, because we have a really great relationship with them and we're going to continue that into the future. The grant purpose is to educate the public about the nexus between the health of the Upper Verde River watershed and the health of the river. You have to have one in order to foster the other. We have a total grant award of $47,620. And that we're expecting our outcomes to be further forwarding our efforts in rainwater harvesting for aquifer recharge systems, to support broad application to exempt well owners throughout the watershed. We'll be attending or hosting at least 8 events over the course of 2 years. We'll be developing information materials to support those efforts. And we'll also be updating the coalition website with some additional materials on rainwater harvesting, new RAC cards, just whatever we think we need to further our efforts, we'll be creating. And we'll be continuing our electronic and print media outreach activities and hopefully expanding those as well. And so that is my presentation on this. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to entertain those.
Council, will you have some questions or comments? All right. Take a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the grant agreement with the Nature Conservancy for outreach and communication efforts regarding the UVRWPC aquifer recharge projects in the amount of $50,000 by electronic vote.
I second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Final item. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh,
next.
final item.
Sorry,
10H,
go ahead.
WIFA grant application.
I'm going to go ahead and defer to Melody Reifsnyder, who will be able to discuss just a little bit more about this than I am able to.
Welcome, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council. The WIFA grant application is something that the Upper Verde River Watershed Protection Coalition Technical Advisory Committee and Executive Board Committee has been tracking for a year, and making certain we were aware, excuse me, when the application was posted. It was posted on April 19th, and it is due on May 19th. They did not give us a whole lot of time. So I'm here today to ask for your permission to submit an application to WIFA to upscale our optimization of recharge project. You have previously approved a grant agreement with the Natural Resource Conservation Service for $2.7 million for that project. This money will basically double what we have available in that grant to expand that project and its monitoring. Because of this, we can do all of this with almost no cost. These grants match each other. There will be no cost to the coalition or the town for this. And then we also have the additional $3 million through the NRCS Bureau of Reclamation Partnership that we'll be helping to manage. So we want to apply for that grant, and that's why I'm here. And knock on wood, I'll be back in a couple of months telling you we got it, but we'll see.
Council, will you have questions or comments? Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it.
Okay.
I'll take a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve making an application to the Arizona Water Infrastructure Finance Authority, known as WIFA, for a grant of up to $3 million towards groundwater recharge enhancement projects in the Upper Verde River watershed on behalf of UVRWPC by electronic vote.
Have a second?
A second.
Clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Councilwoman,
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
clerk, please call the vote.
That passes unanimously, Mayor.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks, everyone, for coming out.